Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and Amberlynn posted again yesterday. And actually, this is the longest video she's posted outside of a live stream in a fairly long time. It's 19 minutes and 45 seconds long, and I have to believe, okay, so yesterday, in my video yesterday, I said, oh, y'all, just so you know, Amberlynn posted this, this Q&A thing on Instagram. That's probably what this video is about. And then she went on for 8 minutes and talked about how she, I don't know, how her feeder girlfriend wants her to allegedly lose weight or whatever. I don't know. And how, one thing I will say, and a lot of you aptly pointed out, is that I didn't put enough emphasis on how she kept saying that Ozempic and semaglutide didn't work, even though she was losing weight while she was on it and then immediately gained weight after she stopped doing it both times. It's like, maybe that was working. So fair enough. But also, I should have realized that that video was not going to be the Q&A video because it was only 8 minutes long. Like, a Q&A video is usually much longer. And so today I feel fairly confident that this is actually the Q&A video that I thought yesterday was going to be. Oh gosh, what is life? Anyways, the video today is called Girlfriend Moving In, Health Update, Past Relationship Regret, and Mukbangs. 3 exclamation points. And the reason that I also feel fairly confident that this is not, or that this is a Q&A rather, is that, like, she's clearly clickbaiting questions she was asked. Like, somebody clearly asked her if her girlfriend was going to be moving in, and she knew that that would be things that people would want to click on this video to find out, and so that's why she called it what she called it. You know? You feel me? You hear me? You understand? You smell what I'm stepping in? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so, yeah, I guess since it's such a long video, we should really just get to. So let's get to, shall we?
Hey guys,
hi.
So today we're gonna do a Q&A. So I went onto Instagram, which is where I always have you guys ask me questions, because I notice that people are more willing to ask a variety of questions when it's like private versus like if I go on YouTube on my community posts and say ask questions. People will purposely ask like the harshest questions they could think of, and it's just all about who can come up with the meanest thing, and I'm just not really about that competition, so I always go to Instagram. So if you guys
Interesting to hear more about her thought process, because I do have to say it is funny and wild to me that she like always posts these Q&As on a place that isn't YouTube, which is her main platform where most people know her from. I mean, at this point, most people are probably struggling to even find her on Instagram because she changes her Instagram handle every 9 to 6 business days. God. Oh, we are still recovering from last week's little minty bee that I had, and clearly my brain is just not working. But every 6 to 9 business days, she's changing her Instagram handle, so it's very hard for people to even find her over there to begin with. And it's not her main audience, so of course she's not going to get the same kinds of questions. But I also think it's interesting that she's even sharing that reasoning behind it, because if I was one of those people just trying to ask her questions that are cruel and mean, like, my thought would be like, oh, so she's ignoring them on YouTube, let me just go to where she is paying attention to them, you know? Like, that's what I think they would do. And also, if you recall, I also noted yesterday in my video that when she asked for these questions, she put in parentheses, no cruel questions, or like, she said she would answer anything except the cruel question. So it's like, girl, I'm sure you're getting them everywhere. I'm sure you are.
You guys do not follow me on Instagram for future reference when time like this does happen. All of my social media is down in the description below. So I gathered 33 questions. Yes, I did. 30? I'm 33 years old, so I figured, why not? Well, let's do it. Are you still doing cameos?
33 questions we're going to answer in about 20 minutes. Stunning. All right, starting with, can you pay her for things? Can you give her money for things? Is she still doing Cameo? Yes, you can still pay her for things. You can also pay me for things on Cameo. I just did one today for for Gail's 53rd birthday. Happy birthday, Gail. But anyways, yes, you can still pay her. She's starting with the most important questions, which is, can we still pay you for money? Can we pay you for money? I am really unwell. Like, why can't I talk today? Or yesterday? Oh my god.
Yes, I am. That's also something else you can find down in the description box. I will do
great.
a cameo for literally anything besides roasting people. I can only roast people that I know and where we have that level of like roast.
And she can't even really do that because girl couldn't be funny if her life depended on it.
Friendship or relationship, I can't roast people I don't know. So it's like the only one I can't do. But besides that, I will do any cameo request. How are your kidney stone symptoms going? So I know not everyone watches every single one of my videos. So just a little backstory. I had a little bit of blood in my urine. I was tested for a UTI 3 times and I come back negative each time.
Yeah, that was around the same time that she was crumbling her cookie for Miss Erica, if I recall correctly. I mean, I think when people lined up the timelines, they realized that the time that she sent her little crumble cookie video to Valentine/Erica was the same time she was experiencing these UTI, kidney stone symptoms, whatever.
I started to have a little bit of pelvis pain, a little bit of flank pain, and I ended up getting a CT scan, and it turns out I have a 6 millimeter kidney stone that is non-obstructing, so it's not moving, it's literally just chilling inside of my kidney. I actually have not had blood in my urine in a while, so it's a good thing.
Good
but
to
when
hear.
I do a lot of like moving and stuff, I do still have a little bit of pain. And that's normal. When you have a kidney stone, if you're doing a lot of moving, you're gonna move it around a little bit and you're gonna feel uncomfortable. So that is currently what I'm dealing with. I do still have my urologist appointment scheduled and ready to go. If you guys remember, I was scheduled for November and I'm not able to get anything sooner. I've tried. Who was someone you miss and wish was still in your life? Honestly, I miss my friend Alexis. I miss the friend.
Oh, we're really invoking her name. We're really putting her name out there. You miss her after all she's done to you, girl. Honestly, also, like, she hasn't been posting it. She said, I'm gonna get this tea out there, and then she yeeted herself from the internet. We have not seen her ever since she dipped. She collected that check from whatever she made on those videos, and she fucking dipped. Unless she's planning on coming back, but I haven't seen anything about it.
Friendship we used to have, and I miss the person that I thought she was. But I miss the Alexis before the betrayal. Why do you keep calling your girlfriend Tommy? So I'm calling my girlfriend Tommy because that is what she prefers to be called. So it's out of respect. Who are you voting for?
That's it. That's interesting. I mean, I respect that. I do respect that. You know, there's all kinds of reasons that she could want to be called that or would prefer to be called that. I would like to know more about that. I am curious, you know, especially when it comes to like queer people. I think we often choose to go by different names. But it is interesting because, you know, Amberlynn initially introduces all of her girlfriends with all of these fake names and things like that. Like the last partner that Amberlynn referred by their actual name was Beck. Otherwise, everybody since then she's come up with like silly, goofy little nicknames for them. And so I guess I just assumed that she was calling Tommy just to like, you know, for disguise purposes. And I think I did recently ask, like, why don't we just call her by her real name now that everybody knows? But if there's, like, a different reason for that, then, like, fully respect that she wants to be called Tommy. And also, I was just going to call her Tommy anyways because that's what Amberlynn calls her, and I think that's the least confusing for everybody. But I also know, like, her name is out there. Like, Amberlynn's friend Alexis put her name out there, which I guess is why this is all interesting to me, because it seems like in Amberlynn's personal life, she uses her real name, which is how, you know, when the texts and stuff came out, like, Amberlynn was calling her by her real name to Alexis and things like that. So that's where my confusion about, like, is that really what she prefers? And maybe it is just that she prefers that the internet calls her that, which is also still fair. I just have a lot more questions, I think, is all I'm trying to say.
So this is actually going to be the first year that I vote, and I'm voting for Kamala Harris, and I am literally so ecstatic. If she becomes our president, I will be bawling my eyes out. Like, I genuinely love, like, what she stands for. Obviously, no president will ever be perfect. And I know politics... Look at that cutie. I know politics isn't thoroughly something that I really want to talk about on my channel, but I genuinely love her, and I support her, and I would love for her to be my president. And you don't...
I am, I mean, there's so much to say about, like, this being the first time she's voted, because she's definitely had, like, videos on her channel talking about presidential elections and things like that in the past, and, like... So there's something to be said about that, too. The other thing I just want to say is that there's also something to be said about her, like, talking about how much she loves Kamala Harris and how she pronounces her name wrong. Like, to me, that's also just... There's just something so funny about that. Because, like, to the extent that literally at the DNC, they were literally educating people on how to, like, properly say Kamala Harris's name. So it's just like, I get it. I think a lot of people mispronounce Kamala's name. It's not the end of the world, but I do think it's interesting to me that she's like talking about how much she loves Kamala and isn't even using her name correctly or saying her name correctly.
You don't have to agree with me. It's totally fine. Everyone can have different opinions on politics without, like, fighting in the comments. Please, let's just calm down. Have you and Tommy considered having a third in your relationship?
Listen, also, Amberlynn'S politics, or lack thereof, prior to this election, seemingly, are probably the least of the concerns when it comes to things on Amberlynn Reid's channel. You know what I'm saying?
Please, let's just calm down. Have you and Tommy considered having a third in your relationship? No. She's too jealous. I'm too jealous. We're definitely monogamous people. Neither of us can share each other at all. People say...
I can't ever imagine Amberlynn Reid being in a polyamorous relationship. With the way that she obsesses over her girlfriends, ain't no way. Although... she fully was very chill with being in a relationship with Erica, who she knew had a wife. So... oh, I got a little spit stuck in my throat. Don't even say anything about that, y'all.
They don't like you because you're a bad person, but they make fun of your weight and body. Why do you think that is? Those people...
What was that question? I need to learn to shut the fuck up at some point.
Monogamous people. Neither of us want to share each other at all. People say they don't like you because you're a bad person, but they make fun of your weight and body. Why do you think that is? Those people, they don't dislike me because I'm a bad person. They dislike me because I'm a big person and I'm an easy target. When are you going to publish a book? So if you guys don't know...
I think that all of that is like a very black and white way of looking at everything. I think there are certainly people that do dislike Amberlynn because she's a fat person, and also like then use like the guise of like, oh, she's a bad person. I don't like her because she's a bad person. Not anything to do with her being fat. But I think that there are certainly a lot of people who just don't like Amberlynn Reid as a person. and I think she defaults, and maybe sometimes some of her supporters default to like, oh, people just don't like her because she's fat. Which, like, I think it's largely the other way around, you know? I think it's more often the case that people just don't like her as a person as opposed to anything to do with her weight. And then her lying on her weight is like also part of what makes her a bad person, you know? Like her going on and trolling for years and years and years with her weight and things like that, I think adds into a lot of people's feelings about like why she's maybe not the best person. But yeah, I think there's certainly people that don't like her because she's fat, but I think it's largely people who just don't like her as a person, period.
I've been wanting to publish a guided journal and a poetry book because I used to love writing poetry, but I'm telling you guys, I haven't really been writing poetry.
Good.
It's kind of like left my body. I used to be super passionate about it, but I'm still journaling every single day. I love journaling. I love guided journals, so I still would love to be able to create a guided journal for you guys. I think that would be so freaking fun.
Do it.
It's just like the steps to doing so. I am a little confused by it. I'm not gonna lie.
She's never gonna do it because it's way too much work for her. But like honestly, think of the branding there. Like, this is the thing. If Amberlynn could put like any like little tiny modicum of effort into anything, like she she could have something there. Like, could you imagine having an Amberlynn Reid guided meditative journal? Like, the branding there is insane. Like, that would be such a good idea if she could just, like, take the time to figure out how to do it and what needed to be done.
But I really do want to make it happen because I know how many of you would love
Let's do it.
Journal by Amberlynn Reid.
Let's do it.
Because I am journalin over here. When you go back to therapy, will you share that journey with us? I think a lot of us will love that. I am sure that when I start therapy, I will definitely tell you guys about it. I remember last time I did like intensive therapy. I came on here and I would share that with you guys, and I got really open. And a lot of people hated that, which I thought was weird because it was also very highly requested. It's just a really good example that, like, no matter what I do, it's always like the wrong thing and the wrong option. So I'm just gonna do me, and however I feel in the moment is probably what I will do.
I think the larger issue with how she shared her last, like, therapy journey is that she was just automatically acting like she had been healed and cured. And I think a lot of people that actively participate in therapy, myself included, know that that's just not how it works, right? Like, you're not just suddenly cured overnight from going to 1, 2, 3, even I think she had to attend like 12 therapy sessions in order to get weight loss surgery that she never ended up getting. And I think that was the frustrating thing, is she would come on after every single therapy session and be like, my life has changed. My life is so different. I'm so much better for this. And, like, I'm sure in some ways her life did change. But then, like, she would also be on here literally exhibiting the same, like, negative, toxic behaviors. And so it's like, we know that those things aren't adding up, right? Like, we know that what you're saying doesn't match what you're doing, even in the vlogs that you curate for us, right? Like, it's not adding up. I think that was the issue that people took with it. I think there's something that could be powerful about you, like, sharing an authentic experience with us. And I just also think about, you know, like, that therapy led to her getting this BPD diagnosis that she's done nothing with, you know, and I think those are the frustrating things. I also would be fully in support of her not telling us anything about it, honestly, because I think when it comes to anything related to her health, whether that's physical, diet, mental health, etc., it seems like she does best when she keeps that for herself offline, you know? Like, I've said that for a long time now. She's always seems to be doing best health-wise when she just works on that stuff in private. So I think, you know, there is something to be said about, like, maybe keeping it to yourself, but also, like, if you're gonna share, do it authentically. Don't try to sell us on this idea that you've been changed for the better, and that you're healed and you're cured and all of this, that, the other.
A lot of people think that I'm super indecisive, which I definitely am a very indecisive person. I change my mind a lot. And I think a really big reason for that as well is because I get so many different, like, conflicting opinions. So then I try to take those into consideration, and then it makes me more indecisive. So it's like, what the heck? So that's why a lot of the time I'm kind of just like go with the flow, and it's however I'm feeling at the moment is what I will do.
Well, that's part of the problem then, huh? Because you're sitting here just like flying by the seat of your pants, whatever feels good in the moment. Like, you said it yourself right there, bestie. That's exactly what your problem is that whatever makes you feel good in the moment, you're going to pursue that. It doesn't matter what kind of opinions you get, which, by the way, I think here she means, like, I get a lot of different opinions from people in the comments, which is wild that she would take their advice on anything related to her health, considering that, like, you know, she just started this video talking about how the comments that she gets on YouTube are usually people who have, like, the worst motives of everybody, okay? So there's that. But yeah, it makes sense that you just go with whatever feels right at the time, which is why you've quit Ozempic twice now, which is why you quit most diets that you start, which is why you didn't follow through with weight loss surgery. It's very, very good indication of, like, who you are as a person and how you pursue your life.
You trust Tommy. I know that you have trust issues with people. I never fully trust anybody. That is just how it's always been for
Okay.
me. I fully believe that you earn someone's trust. You don't just trust someone right off the bat and hope they don't break that. I have been through a lot in my life, and in my childhood, I learned very early that you cannot trust people. And I learned that at a very young age, that most people shouldn't have to like experience that. But I do feel like everything I've been through has made me stronger, and it has made me realize that like you can't fully trust people. But I trust Tommy more than I have trusted anybody probably my whole life. And that feeling has come natural. It hasn't even like been something that like I've had to work on fully. Of course, I've had to work on my trust with literally everyone, including Tommy. But like the level of where I do trust her, that has come natural for me. And
it's crazy to me that she starts this off saying like, you know, like I don't ever fully trust anybody that I work with or that I work with. Not that I work with. And she doesn't fully trust anybody that she's in a relationship with, friendship with, whatever. And yet she seemingly has just like fully trusted everything that Tommy has told her about the feeder content and things like that. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, if you're saying that you start off all of your relationships not fully trusting somebody and they have to earn your trust, and that didn't immediately break your trust, I've got questions, Miss Ma'am. I'm just like, your mouth just has shit coming out of it at all times. Like, that doesn't make no damn sense to me. That you said that this trust with her came naturally and that you don't normally start off with trust with people. But, like, that seems like a pretty big issue of trust right then and there.
It has actually shocked me. Are you doing Vlogmas this year? Honestly, I have no earthly idea. I go back and forth. It was a strong no. And then I was like, you know what, let's do it. And now I'm currently at like, I don't know, where the nickname...
Honestly, why we're asking about that in September, when like she just said herself, she just decides in the moment what she feels like doing. You gotta ask that a little bit closer to December if you really want to know if she's gonna be doing it or not. September is way too early for her to be making decisions like that.
Ambi come from? So it originated when I was just a little girl. I'm talking like a baby. Both my parents would call me Ambies, and my mom would call me Ambi here and there. And then I had two people in my life call me Ambi just like naturally by themselves. My ex Feline, and then my ex best friend Alexis. And I've realized I actually low-key love that. I love the nickname so much that I made it my Instagram, and I'm kind of feeling it. Like,
love that she's holding on to these nicknames from two people that have no interest in interacting with her anymore. Alexis and Feline, who both want nothing to do with Amberlynn Reed. Fascinating that she's like, yeah, I'm gonna still use this nickname. I mean, I know she said it started with her parents or whatever, but it's clear that this is a recent decision that she's chosen to go by Ambi again.
Who? So I've also noticed that a lot of people are calling me Ambi now, and I love it, low key. I think it's super adorable. Like, it comes from literally
so cute.
When I was like knee-high to a grasshopper. What was that?
What is
your current obsession? Well, besides my girlfriend, the song "Good Luck Babe" by Chapel Roan. I
can't do this. Don't do this to me right now, Amberlynn. It's already enough for me that I have to grapple with you using the guess song and TikToks and stuff, which is fine. Listen, we can like the same things. We really can, but I can't do any discourse about Chapel Roan right now. I do love Chapel Roan. I do love her music, and I'm just not prepared for any Chapel Roan discourse. I just really am not. My mentals are too fragile right now.
Cannot stop. I literally cannot stop listening to it. It's kind of sick. It's kind of gross. It's kind of disgusting. Like, I'm obsessed. Like, I love the meaning behind it, and like, I love how she sounds. I just love everything. Like, it is the most perfect song. I'm obsessed. Have you fully forgave your mother for her actions while she was deep in her addiction? Yes, I have. Do those things still hurt me sometimes? Yes. But you can forgive, and you can heal, and you can still be a human with feelings and emotions. That's completely normal. I'm not a robot. But it's like, I think it's time to
Guess what? I'm not a robot. Do you know that Marina and the Diamonds song? That was my introduction to Marina and the Diamonds. Like, not any of her other, like, famous songs, but that. It was back when... Remember when you used to go to the Starbucks and they would give you, like, a song of the week? That was the song of the week once. And I was obsessed. And then I obviously fell in love with a lot of other Marina content and music and things like that.
Like, I'm 33 years old. My mom and I still have those deep discussions sometimes about the past. But I've always loved my mom unconditionally and sometimes to a fault. I'm not gonna lie. So now that she's almost 9 years sober and she has completely transformed her life and we have a relationship together, like, if I didn't fully forgive her, it would only be hurting the both of us. Is Tommy moving to Oklahoma? No, she isn't. I know a lot of people are assuming that, but nope, she's not. Do you think the sun is real? Because it is so bright, it doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry, but this question...
I can't do with the astronomy conspiracy theories. I also can't do that discourse today. I really can't. I can't do it today, Amberlynn. Let's not.
Genuinely made me LOL when I first read it. Because you guys, like, hate conspiracy Lynn. Which I understand. I just like to think outside of the box sometimes, you know? And I'm a firm believer that, like, just because you're taught something in school and you're told something doesn't mean it's real. And I know that's hectic to a lot of people. That's fine. But, like, the moon landing did not happen. Like, I firmly feel that, like, inside of my soul. So it's fun.
Please, not today. I literally could cry about so many things in my life right now, and yet here I am gonna be literally in tears that we have to discuss this again. I can't do it. I don't have the mental capacity. I know y'all science warriors out there are gonna fight the good fight for me. I'm just gonna keep it pushing. We're just gonna keep it moving.
Fun to also be like, what else isn't true? Do I think the sun is real? Yes, because we see it, we feel it. But do I think that every single thing that they have told us about it is 100% accurate? No, I don't. What's your go-to cocktail when you're with Tommy?
So
and is that the reason why you're drinking again? So first of all, no. Tommy isn't a drinker. I think we just drink socially. We just have a couple drinks together.
Tommy isn't a drinker, but all of the times that I'm with her, that I live stream with her on FaceTime, this, that, the other, I have to be drunk. Like... Whatever works, babe. Whatever works.
Because it's fun. We like to go to the bar, listen to music, hang out. But my go-to, for some reason, is Sex on the Beach. And I'm drawing a blank of what
She really absolutely does drink like somebody who just started drinking. I remember when I turned 21 and I was trying to be so cool and I literally ordered a Sex on the Beach at the bar. I was just like, this is what everybody drinks at the bar. Come to find out that most people are drinking like beer, vodka cranberries, now vodka sodas. The homosexuals, we're drinking vodka soda. Well, I'm not. I'm over a year sober, free from alcohol. Can y'all believe? But the gays, they're drinking vodka sodas with a lime. Like, nobody's drinking Sex on the Beach out at the bar. Not many people, at least.
Always orders. Oh my gosh. Is it a Long Island?
Girl doesn't even know.
I literally do not remember, but I do know
You're
that
probably
I also
blacked out.
It tastes really good. I'm not remembering what it's called. When did you and Tommy make it official? So this is gonna be off the chain.
The timeline thing is this is gonna raise all kinds of timeline questions again, because I was just mentioning in yesterday's video, because she was trying to say that that Tommy actually wanted her to keep doing semaglutide or whatever, and I was like, that doesn't make sense in my head of what I thought the timeline was, because I thought that she had not yet started talking to Tommy at that point. And then some people in my Twitch community were kind of like agreeing with me, like saying like, no, like the timeline is weird. Like the timeline is definitely weird. I don't like to go keep a calendar of all the things that have happened in Amberlynn'S life. Like I can barely remember as it is, but the timeline is sussy. The timeline is especially because if you recall, Tommy also was like reaching out to Brittany and Erica, trying to figure out when Erica ended things with Amberlynn versus when Tommy started talking to her. So I think it's probably a very sussy timeline if we're being honest.
Some of y'all, but she first messaged me on June 18th, and we became official on June 26th.
That's crazy.
Literally, like 8 days later.
Literally.
When you know, you know. What can I say? Have you been reading?
When you know, you know, which is what you've said about every fucking girlfriend you've had since the beginning of time. Please be serious.
Lately? No, I haven't. I'm still in such a reading slump, but I really, really want to choose a book off of my bookshelf.
Do it.
And just like open it up. Just read the freaking first page and
try it.
What's your ideal engagement ring look like? So if I can find any photos just like online or whatever, I'll plop them up right here. But I really want like something that isn't the norm. I really like the color black. So I think like a black diamond or a black stone of some sort. That's exactly
what I would expect from her.
A big yes for me.
She said, Tommy, here it is. This is what it looks like. You want this forever? You want to feed me cherries forever? You want an unlimited supply of crumble cookie videos? Get me one of these.
At my core, I feel like that's so me. Would you get a tattoo with Tommy? Yeah, I would. It would be my first tattoo, but yeah, I would totally do that. How are you doing with regulating your emotions? Because I know that's something you were working on. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely getting better. I'm learning more like what my triggers are, and I have created like journaling prompts specifically for moments where I need to regulate myself or become more rational. Like I said before, like I know a lot of you don't watch every single one of my videos, but if you don't know, I do have BPD, so that
Amberlynn doesn't need a therapist to help regulate her BPD because she has journal prompts she's created for herself to do it for her.
Makes it really hard sometimes for me to regulate my emotions. And something else that like I have come to terms with is like I have zero emotional permanence, which honestly makes things even harder. And that's probably like one of my biggest triggers I've realized recently. So I noticed by like creating these journal prompts, whenever I feel like triggered or like, I like to call it like BPD moments or BPD freakouts for the lack
Whenever I feel BPD moments, she who needs a therapist when you've got Therapy Lynn over here? Journal Lynn making prompts for herself and making up words to describe her behaviors. Let's go.
Better term. Whenever I'm about to have that, I go straight to those journal prompts, and this is something new that I've recently started because it's like being with Tommy, it's like I've never wanted to improve so much with my BPD like until now. Like she genuinely makes me want to be a better person. And I have felt that in our relationships. I feel like that's like that's important to feel when you're in a relationship. Like
nobody has ever supported Amberlynn Reed like whoever her current girlfriend is. Like, nobody has ever made her want to work on herself like whoever her current girlfriend is. Nobody's ever done that before. None of her other girlfriends have ever supported her in this way, even though she's probably said that about them in the past.
I hope the person that you're with makes you want to become a better person. But it's like the fact that I am like actually actively not only just like wanting to become a better person, but I'm like taking the steps to do so. Like that just like, I don't know, it makes my heart feel nice and warm and fuzzy. So anyways, these journal prompts have actually helped me. I have stepped away from journaling after doing these prompts. And I'm like,
I'm cured.
Wow, I feel lighter. I feel better. I'm no longer freaking out, and I am now finally able to be rational and aware. I know that
I don't want it also to sound like I am like shitting on journaling is a known effective way to help manage all kinds of mental health related things. I'm not trying to like shit on that as a concept. I think a lot of people get a lot of great use out of journaling. I even like to some extent do some of that, right? Like, I wouldn't call what I do journaling, but like sometimes if I'm just like feeling very overwhelmed with like emotion, I will write all the things and all my thoughts in my head down in like a notes app little situation type of deal, so that like at least it's not like ruminating in my mind forever and ever and ever, and then I can talk about it out loud with like a therapist or maybe like a friend I feel like confiding in. So it's not to say that I don't think that like journaling isn't helpful, and it probably is helpful to her in some ways. It's just that she's like out here acting like like she has really, you know, figured it all out. She's figured her mental health out and yet like refuses to actually go seek therapy. It's just like, yeah, think about how powerful those things could be with the assistance of like a therapist to guide you through processing those emotions and figuring out what to do with those emotions. You know, like, that could be so powerful. And I think that that's just what frustrates me.
There's actually a lot of people who also suffer with BPD who is watching me, or people who probably just have issues regulating themselves, etc., etc. So if you guys are interested in seeing the prompts and like kind of the process that I go through during a moment like that, I would honestly love nothing more than to share that with you guys, because
I need the Amberlynn guided meditation journal. Give it to me, Amberlynn.
Because I really do think that it could be helpful. And before anyone says anything, yes, I need to go to therapy. I understand I'm not
too
a therapist.
late. I already said it.
I'm not giving advice. I'm strictly just like showing something that helps me that I feel like could help you. Will you ever do mukbangs again? I have flirted with the idea, I'm not gonna lie. There are times where
this has to be rage bait. A few people have been throwing out that like she has to be rage baiting with some of these things. The idea that she would consider doing mukbangs again after she has now started dating a known feeder, a documented human from the feederism community is crazy to me. Like, you have to just be trying to rile people up by even considering doing mukbangs again.
I don't want to vlog. There are times where I don't want to show what is going on in my personal life. I do have a job I have to do, and that's creating content. So my brain does go to, maybe I should just throw up a mukbang. So I'm not gonna lie, that is thoughts that I've had for
if she does,
a while
I swear
now,
to God.
maybe since like February or March.
No, maybe more like since June 26th, when you made things official with Miss Thomas Salamis, please.
Well, the fact that I have not done one, I'm very proud of that, because mukbangs are easy. They're easy to do, they're easy to film, you're gonna eat anyways. Throw it up and call it a day, make some money.
Throw it up.
Are you interested in buying property? I would love to buy a house one day, but that's such like a big commitment, and it's like,
absolutely.
You guys have seen, I have not like stayed in one state. I have moved around so much. I have lived in so many different states, and it's like, where would I buy the house? Am I gonna be in that state forever? Like, it's just like such a huge commitment.
True.
Plus, I'm like super picky. The house would have to be like my idea of perfect, because it's like, it's mine.
Yeah, that's typically how purchasing a home works. Like you usually do put a lot of thought and care into the house you buy, because it's a huge commitment financially, time-wise, lots of resources and go into buying a house. So yeah, typically most people are picky about that, Amberlynn.
But the thought of like owning my own house, it'd be like my little baby, and I could do whatever I want to it. Right. Like, that's pretty exciting. So it's up in the air. I don't really know at this moment. What is your biggest regret from each of your relationships? Definitely having undiagnosed BPD, and definitely not understanding the reason why I was the way I was. Not getting help sooner. It takes two to tango in most relationships, but like,
love the concept that her regret for these relationships is not getting help sooner, and yet is she getting help now? Has she done anything to change that? Is this going to be yet another regret when your relationship with Tommy ends?
Like, I am fully aware and taking accountability of like, it was probably hard being in a relationship with me in the past, because I had a lot of baggage, a lot of heaviness.
I think it's probably hard to be in a relationship with you now, bestie.
And undiagnosed BPD, it's scary. It's overwhelming. it's consuming. And it's not just for the person experiencing it, but it's also for the people around them. And it's like, I have a lot of regret towards that, like 100,000,000%. And I would do anything to like be able to go back in time, because I genuinely think it would have prevented 99% of my problems that were caused by me. How do you cope with a long distance relationship? It's hard, but we do make a lot of time for each other, and I'm very grateful for that. Like,
I'm positive you got old Thomas Salamis on FaceTime 7 to 8 hours a day. That's what she means by we make a lot of time together. Tommy is probably spending any free moment she has on that phone with you.
Tommy puts as much energy in me as I put in her, and I feel like that's super freaking important, because I know how it feels to be, you know, in a relationship with someone, or like in a situationship with someone where it's like you're putting all this energy and all this time and this attention into them, and it's like they're not giving it back. It's awkward, it's painful. It's like, do they even like me? Like, what? When two energies are just like so similar, just like what you want in a relationship and like what you give in a relationship, and like the give and take is like very balanced, I think it makes any relationship just a lot easier, whether it's long distance or not.
I always feel some type of way when Amberlynn's and her like, I'm an expert relationship advice giver. I mean, not that that person was necessarily, well, maybe they were asking for advice, but she talks about relationships like she's had so many successful ones. And like, that's not to say that just because you've been in a relationship that didn't work out that you couldn't have any advice to give about being in a relationship. But it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's just for me, Amberlynn's the last person I would seek out relationship advice from. So when she's sitting here lecturing about how to make a long distance relationship work, I'm just like, it's falling on deaf ears. I'm not listening.
How many pets have you had as an adult so far? I've had 4. Wasabi, Twinkie, Rarity, and Jax. And unfortunately, Jax passed away. If you guys remember Jax, then you have definitely been around for a long time.
I have.
I think about him all the time, and I miss him dearly. If you could...
Not to start the Gracie dialogue and discourse again, but I guess she never counted Gracie as one of hers.
If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be? So I know a lot of people are going to think I'm either going to say Billie Eilish or Miley Cyrus. But no, Billie Eilish is my second choice.
That's hectic.
Honestly, my first choice is Banks. If you guys know me through and through,
that's hectic.
Banks is just like everything.
I want to adopt hectic, but say it like Lisa Barlow from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I've been catching up on Salt Lake City because I want to watch the upcoming new season in real time. And I'm just so obsessed with, like, the voice of Lisa Barlow. Like, that's hectic. There was a TikTok of somebody doing their impersonation of Lisa Barlow singing 365 by Charlie XCX at karaoke. And it was just like, I had never realized that, like, Lisa had such a unique voice up until that moment, and now I can't not hear Lisa Barlow and everything. So I just want to be like, that's hectic.
Her music is just, like, magic to me, and she has been flirting on social media with a new song, and I'm just like, hurry it up. Let's, like, get a new album out, because I'm ready to have that on repeat.
Me to Amberlynn when she doesn't post for 2 weeks. Let's hurry it up. I'm about to have that video on repeat.
Like, on the constant. If you guys have not listened to Banks before, do it. Like, do it now,
I probably
please.
won't.
Like,
I don't need to.
Video, it's fine. Or actually, finish the video first and then go do that. What's something you really want to do with Tommy? I would love to, like, go on a vacation with her. Maybe, like, a little cabin. Like, a cabin in the mountains or something.
The fuck are you gonna do in a cabin in the mountains?
The low-key just sounds so cozy. Like, I could do anything with her and have the time of my life. That is something me and her, like, agree on. Like, we could literally just be sitting next to each other, and it's the best time we've ever had. Like, ever in our life. Will you be visiting Tommy, or is that off the table? I don't really know.
She is so goofy.
What's one thing you notice about Tommy that...
When she tries to act like that, goofy. I can't wait for the Wisconsin trip. I can't wait for her trip to Wisconsin. Like, how is she gonna get there? What is it gonna look like? I'm ready.
That made you realize you were in love. Y'all, there are thousands of things that made me realize this. Not gonna lie to you. So I'm just gonna like go on my little list of reasons and randomly pick one. It's the way that she cares about me. The way that like, if I just have like, oh, I have a little tummy ache, or oh, I have like a tiny little headache. Like the way that she like worries and like cares about me and like shows that is so, it's just so gentle and sweet and kind. And I'm not used to that. I'm not gonna lie. Like one of the days.
This is really reminding me of that time that when she was doing her little Instagram Q&As and somebody asked her what she liked about Valentine and she picked out like the most generic, vague things to describe how she cared about or like what she liked about Valentine. This is one of those. Like caring about you when you're not feeling well is like such a low bar. Like I would assume everybody's partner should care about them. Like you're settling for the bare minimum, Amberlynn. You're getting excited about something that all of your partners should be doing. Every partner should care about you. If you don't feel good, they should be checking in and asking you how you're doing.
Days she was here, like we walked a lot. And my feet were hurting, and just automatically she's like, let me massage your feet. And I'm like, this is new. Like, I'm just not used to that, like, that type of care. And it's just like, like someone who matches my energy because I'm the same way. Like, the minute she
giving
feels
foot rubs?
some type of way, I'm just like, are you okay? Oh my God, do you need, like, me to help with that?
You giving foot rubs, Amberlynn?
Just, like, worry and care in the same way. Like, again, it's just like, our energies are matching even in that way. That's just like one thing out of like thousands. Like, she's just so sweet.
She's just
How
so
long do you think the
perfect.
honeymoon phase will last in your relationship? So just based on like experience, but also based on other people's real life stories, sometimes the honeymoon phase never stops. So the last question,
based on personal experience, you really gonna say that there's a relationship that you had where the honeymoon phase never stopped? Please be serious.
Get dinner with 5 people, dead or alive. Who are you inviting? So I'm inviting Tommy, obviously. I'm inviting my grandma Judy. She passed away when I was 12, but she was my heart, my soul, my everything. She was my mom when my mom couldn't be my mom. I miss her so much, and there's so much I want to tell her and ask her, and just, I'd give anything to do that.
Okay.
Billie Eilish, Brittany Murphy, last but not least, Drew Barrymore. Anyways, so those are the 33 questions.
Stunning.
And now that I have sat here and answered them all, I didn't realize how many of you asked questions about Tommy and how many of them I actually jotted down. Wow, this is almost 40 minutes. That's hectic. So I'm gonna need to edit this down a lot so you guys aren't sitting there listening to me ramble like nonsense.
I am glad that this was not the original 40 minutes. I'm glad that you seemingly did do some editing today.
But I hope that you guys did enjoy this, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, her infatuation with Tommy. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Because you just know. Maybe it won't be for a year from now. Maybe it won't be for 2 years from now. But if this is anything like her other relationships, it's going to come crashing down and burning real quick. Like it just is. It is. But anyways, that's all I have time for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did and you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all of my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!